7 a.m. in Los Angeles, and our top story continues to be the intensive police dragnet for an armed and dangerous escaped mental patient. 26-year-old Jay Jones escaped from the Hobart State Hospital for the criminally insane last night after killing an attendant and leaving a guard in critical condition. Jones was committed to Hobart 8 years ago after a lengthy and well-publicized trial following the bludgeoning death of both of his parents. We talked with a state police department spokesman shortly after Jones's escape last night.
He's extremely dangerous, probably armed. He could be on PCP. Jones is Caucasian, 6 feet 3, 220 pounds with curly brown hair. If you see anyone answering this description, stay clear of him and notify your local law enforcement agency immediately.
Hey there guys, Those Speak Communications, and happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Hope you guys are having a wonderful Thanksgiving. I don't know why I decided that I was going to watch this movie today, but I thought, you know, it's technically Thanksgiving related, and I had meant on doing a review of this years ago, but I never got around to doing it. So I thought, whoa, why don't I pop it in today and watch it and suffer? And the movie that, of course, that movie is Home Sweet Home, a 1981 slasher film directed by Nettie Pena, starring Jake Steinfeld, you know, Body by Jake. Yes, the same guy who was in those Body by Jake exercise videos in the 90s. Vinessa Shaw as Angel Bradley. Peter Paula as a Mistake. Yeah, just like this movie, which is one giant fucking mistake. Don Edmonds as Harold Bradley, and a bunch of other fucking people I'm not even fucking bothered with. Vinessa Shaw, that name sounds somewhat familiar to me. Vinessa Shaw. That really does sound... I'm really curious about this, because I think I saw something that she was in earlier. Vinessa Shaw. One of her first ever films is a character named Angel. This is her first acting role. She was in Ladybugs. She was in Hocus Pocus. Oh my god, it's Allison from Hocus Pocus. Holy shit. I didn't recognize her. It's Allison from Hocus Pocus. Wow. They definitely did a lot better in Hocus Pocus than she did in this. This movie is fucking awful. And this is Shaw was in this. Anyway, that was the most shocking thing, I'll be honest, to think of about when it comes to this film. Anyway, it's also known as Slasher in the House and Blood Party. To be honest, it could just be called either of those titles because it is the most bare bones you can possibly think of when it comes to being an actual Thanksgiving related slasher. I mean, I hate to say Thanksgiving is better, but Thanksgiving is a piece of shit movie about a turkey that says gobble gobble motherfucker, but at least that movie actually does have the Thanksgiving holiday featured prominently in the film. This is about, you don't hear the word Thanksgiving mentioned once in this entire movie. They're having a turkey dinner, but for all I know, his family could be eating a turkey dinner in the middle of fucking March. I have no idea. There's no mention that it is actually Thanksgiving, so I think they just put on a holiday. They put the Home Sweet Home thing and said it took place on Thanksgiving on the back of the VHS because they wanted to get people to rent it, because otherwise people look at a title like Blood Party or Slasher in the House. Slasher in the House. This is a really shitty title. And they wouldn't even touch the movie with a 10-meter cattle prod. And so they had to come up with something. They said, hey, Halloween, that's a holiday slasher. Hey, what holiday has there not been a slasher film based on, you know, yet? Thanksgiving, Home Sweet Home. We'll sell a bunch of copies of this thing. Because Slasher in the House ain't gonna cut it. But pretty much that's kind of how it is. Slasher in the House is an extremely generic title, and it really fits this generic, shitty slasher. And Home Sweet Home, why don't we remake this movie? Why don't we remake this movie and make it actually fun, make it actually good, and actually make it take place on Thanksgiving? But anyway, the movie, it starts out with this motorist who's parked, and, they're just parked, and I think they're stuck in traffic, or they're parking on the side of the road somewhere, and an escaped mental patient named Jay Jones, who was also high on PCP, played by Jake Steinfeld, bodied by Jake, who is so goddamn bad in terms of his acting in this movie. I have to admit, I did laugh. And there's a lot of unintentional humor to be had here with this character, because he's so goddamn bad. He's so awful. I'm going to quote a reviewer online from Film Bizarro. He said that the antagonist, Jake Steinfeld, he hams it up so badly you have to expect bacon to fly off the screen. And I totally agree with him. He's so goddamn hammy. You could fucking slice his ass up and sell pieces of him at your local deli. He is really, really bad. And it's just over the top. He's this big muscular dude, and he's just like, it's not scary. He shows up and he just makes you laugh your ass. It's funny. I don't think that's what the director of the film was trying to do. Yeah, it's a comedy. That's what we were going for. No, we wanted to make a serious slasher, and it didn't work. The opening of the film is hilarious. I thought it was just, he goes after this unsuspecting motorist and kills her, and then the titles come up on the screen. And then I'm thinking, like, oh man, this might be a funny movie, like one of those unintentionally, hilariously bad slashers. But the thing is, it only makes you laugh when Body by Jake is killing people. Other than that, it's fucking boring. It's so goddamn dull. It's, it's just, speech, I don't have a lot of words to explain how dull most of this movie is. I mean, might as well be watching paint dry, or watching worms fuck, or going and watching fucking a race between two snails, because that'll be more exciting than watching the majority of this film. So anyway, what happens is, after he kills an innocent motorist, he carjacks the car, and then he runs down an old woman. And so that's what I'm saying. The opening is like, what is this, Death Race 2000 Part 2? He runs down an old woman. That's 500 points for Jake Steinfeld. 500 points for Jay Jones. He's doing really well today's race. And then anyway, after that opening, which is pretty funny, then it just becomes fucking boring. Boring bullshit. We're on the outskirts of the city. 9 people have celebrated the Gabber Thanksgiving dinner and celebrated at the ranch of Harold Bradley. But you don't ever hear the word Thanksgiving. At least I don't remember ever hearing it uttered by anybody. And among the revelers are Harold's tenant Scott and his girlfriend Jennifer. As there was no wine in the house, Harold's girlfriend Linda and her friend Gail borrow Scott's car to go and get some, while Jay cuts off the house's power. And everything building up to this is just shitty acting. I mean, I know it's a low-budget slasher, but these are people that just should not act. I mean, they just don't have any emotion. There's not much to it. There's not even, they're not interesting characters. They're not engaging, so you don't give a shit. And then you introduce this fucking annoying-ass fucking kid named Mistake, who dresses up like a fucking mime and runs around with an accordion, I think. Yeah, he's so cool. And his name is Mistake, appropriately titled here. And on Wikipedia, they're trying to make it sound like he's a KISS Army member. Hey, that's an insult to KISS. He's not a KISS Army member. He's a fucking mime. And I hate fucking mimes. Mimes suck. Mimes are never cool. Mimes can kiss my ass. I don't like mimes. I don't think they're funny. I don't think they're. I don't think they're fun to watch. I think they're fucking stupid. I fucking hate mimes. And I fucking hate Mistake. And just talking about this fucking movie and fucking mimes is giving me a fucking headache. So fuck mimes. Fuck this movie. Fuck Mistake. He's not a member of the Kiss Army. It's a bunch of bullshit. So anyway, this guy's just a complete, utter loser in mime makeup for fucking accordion. And he's annoying as fuck. And he doesn't die right away. You think he should die first, but no, he doesn't. So he continues to fuck with you for the course of the film's running time. Which is 83 minutes too fucking long. It's only 83 minutes, but it feels like it goes on forever. So anyway, so after the house's power gets cut, Harold then turns on the emergency generator, and he leaves to get more gasoline for it, and then he happens upon Jay's abandoned station wagon. As Harold tries to take the battery out of the car, Jay slams the hood down on him, crushing his skull. In a lame kill that's not memorable. It's, you know, blink and you miss it, forgettable kill. All he does is crush his head with a fucking hood of the car, and it doesn't really, it's not a lot of blood. You just see a little bit. It's nothing. It's literally nothing. It's like you're having your Thanksgiving dinner while it's like. Imagine this movie is like, and this scene is like you're eating your Thanksgiving dinner and you have a plate that has stuffing, all this wonderful stuff on it, and when you put your fork down, before you put it in your mouth, everything disappears. You got nothing. So you're just stabbing a fork into your fucking tongue and you're bleeding and you're like, what the fuck happened to my Thanksgiving dinner? It disappeared because you're eating nothing, just like this movie is nothing and you're watching nothing. So anyway, Jay then severs the telephone line, and when Wayne goes back out to look for Harold, he's garroted by Jay with a telephone cord, and he's hiding in the backseat of Wayne's car. That's how he killed him, because this 6-foot-tall motherfucker hides in the back of a car, and nobody fucking sees him, of course. I wonder if the makers of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, not the next generation, A New Beginning, or the beginning, sorry, I fucked up. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the beginning, saw this movie and decided to write, oh, excuse me, I got indigestion after just, from this fucking movie. Makes me want to puke. It's that bad. Anyway, so going back to what I'm saying, that's a bad comment. I'm talking about Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the beginning, and this piece of shit. Yeah, my stomach does not approve. So anyway, did the makers of that film see this movie and thought, hey, got an inspiration? Like, yeah, that's how we should have one of the kills. Have Leatherface hide in the backseat with a fucking chainsaw. Some 6-foot-tall motherfucker hide in the back of the fucking back seat. Nobody fucking sees it. Same thing happens in this film with Body by Jake Steinfeld. So he garrotes the guy. It's nothing. There's a lot of shots in this film that are shot at fucking night or day for night shots, and they look fucking cheap, and you can't see shit. And it's not like you even want to see it because it's not worth it in the first place. Like I said, because this slasher is fucking nothing. It's a Thanksgiving dinner plate that is just nothing. You're eating nothing. Just eating air. You're watching air. And anyway, so what happens is he garrotes the guy. Linda and Gail had become lost. They end up running out of gas as they try to find their way back to the ranch, and they run into Jay. Jay slams Gail's head onto a rock, and he stabs Linda to death with a broken bottle. Both completely uneventful, forgettable kills. And I didn't give a shit about the characters, because either they were boring me to fucking death, or they didn't have any character development, so I could care fucking less what happens to them. That's, in my opinion, that's a sign of a shitty slasher. It's fucking boring. It's laughable. It's slow paced. The kills are nothing. The premise isn't much of anything. It could be could be fun. I mean, a guy who's fucking going crazy on PCP, he's unstoppable. He thinks he's unstoppable. That could be something, but he never really faces anybody that has any sort of a threat to him. So you have a golden opportunity here, film, and don't low budget isn't an excuse, because in this type of movie you could have like crazy shit, like they try to fucking fuck him up and he still keeps coming. So you could, because he's high on PCP, so he doesn't feel any pain. They kind of go with that, but only at the end of the film, because the other stuff that's going on before it is just generic shit. So anyway, what happens is, he kills Linda and Gail, and then Jay returns to the house where the remaining guest and member of the Bradley family is sat down for a turkey dinner. And when Wayne's girlfriend Maria goes to the washroom, Jay stabs her and another nothing kill, and then he proceeds to chase a mistake around the property, eventually catching and fatally shocking him with his own electric guitar and portable amplifier. Oh, so he doesn't have an accordion. I just assumed that. I think he has an accordion and an electric guitar. Either way, he's a fucking loser. He's a fucking mime, and mimes suck. The mimes can suck my dick. Fuck mimes. Fuck mistake. Made a mistake. Big mistake, and he got fucking killed. Bravo. It's about goddamn time. He's literally, in my opinion, one of the most annoying, obnoxious characters in a slasher film I've ever seen in my entire life. So I was literally applauding when he finally got his ass killed. I was like, thank you, God. Thank Jesus. Everybody, yes, mistake is finally dead. So then Scott discovers Maria's body while collecting firewood. He runs back to the ranch, secures the building with Jennifer and Harold's young daughter Angel, played by Vinessa Shaw. Jay manages to break inside and he tries strangling Scott, and Jennifer wounds him with a knife. Jay recovers because he's high on PCP, and he slits Scott's throat. Nothing kill. Pursues Jennifer, who faints while hiding in Scott's room. In the morning, Jennifer awakens and is assaulted by Jay when she ventures outside. A pair of police officers alerted to the situation by Angel. They pull up and blast Jay with a shotgun. As one of the officers places Jennifer in his car with Angel, the other checks on Jay, who opens his eyes. Which is a bullshit sequel-bait ending for a sequel that will never fucking happen. And just because you're high on PCP doesn't mean you're fucking immortal. Same thing goes with that shitty-ass movie. Another shitty movie that dealt with drug overdoses and crazy motherfuckers who were high on drugs. Fucking Jackhammer Massacre. This movie's just about as bad as that fucking piece of shit. Anyway, I really don't know what to say. I mean, like I said, it's not much. There's really not much to say about it. This movie isn't much. That literally what I told you is exactly what Home Sweet Home is. That's the plot. That's all that fucking happens, folks. It's not much of anything. And this movie is rancid, moldy, stinky, shitty, leftovers. Stanky, just stank-ass, moldy fucking garbage. You know, it's the kind of leftovers after Thanksgiving you would throw away, but this movie decides to serve them to you on a fucking platter. You know, it's just a perfect image for this movie. Just, that's exactly what it is. It's a shitty slasher. It's boring. It's not fun to watch. It's got one of the most obnoxious, annoying fucking characters ever in the fucking mistake. And the only entertainment you get is out of Body by Jake acting like a complete fucking moron or a fucking idiot. He's just going like, ha 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 ha, oh, trying to do his best Incredible Hulk impression. That's the most enjoyment you get out of the film. As you don't get it for the kills. They're nothing. You don't get it for the characters because all of them suck. You don't get it for the direction. There's nothing to it. There's no memorable music. There's nothing memorable about this film at all. So, if you're wondering if you want to check it out, be my guest. But I would say there's a lot better ways to spend your Thanksgiving or any day or any amount of your time rather than watching this shitty slasher. But anyway, I really don't know what to say about Home Sweet Home except it's a rate out of 5 stars. half a star for laughing at Jake Steinfeld. That's about it, because otherwise I'm crying inside. I'm laughing at Jake Steinfeld, and I'm crying inside, and I'm wanting to fucking take a fucking turkey leg and bash myself over the head with it to keep myself awake while I'm watching the fucking movie, because it's that fucking boring. But anyway, I hope you guys had a good, happy Thanksgiving. And yeah, don't spend it watching this piece of shit. Anyway, thanks for watching my rant on Home Sweet Home. A home that should be condemned, and a home that nobody should ever fucking go to, let alone see.